and we just couldn't tolerate each other. And that the weird thing is that the both of us are quiet, the both of us don't like parties or having company over, but we still didn't get along. I don't know, but I want to take responsibility for this, that in as much as it was my fault, it was also her fault. I don't know, maybe we're both like still immature. Hello my darlings, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Khoshigadi Nuko Rakon. Thank you so much for choosing to stop by my channel. If you are new, if you're a new subscriber, or if you're just like someone new who's decided to watch me and they're watching me for the first time today, you are most welcome here. I sincerely hope that you do stay and that you and I get to know each other, okay? The lighting isn't that great because it's kind of gloomy outside. It's probably going to rain. No, not probably, it's definitely going to rain because it literally rains every 2 seconds in Bloemfontein. I'm not even exaggerating, like it rains all the time. So yeah, but shout out to my ring light because I don't think it looks that bad. And yeah, so I am back with another video which I really hope that you guys will enjoy, and which I hope that it's going to help you make decisions. And if you do like this video, please don't forget to give it a massive thumbs up. Please comment down below any thoughts that you have that you want to share. If you have experiences similar to mine or your own experiences that you'd like to share, please feel free to do comment down below. And if you've got any suggestions in relation to what you'd like to see on my channel, please also be free to comment and suggest whatever it is that you'd like to see. And most importantly, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, okay? Right, so let's get straight into the video because we don't want to be too long. No, not too long. I don't know, something weird is happening. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if you saw that, but okay. See what's going on? Something with the light. Okay. No, I think I do know what it is. It's my speakers. They actually have, I need to switch it off so that, oh, there we are. Okay, I hope I was right. No, it seems that I was not right, but anyway, so I want to talk about whether or not, or rather the things to consider before deciding to share your accommodation with someone, be it an apartment or res, whether or not you should be sharing as a first-year student in university. In fact, you don't even have to be in university, you don't even have to be a first year should you be sharing accommodation with other people. So I'll take you like just a background of my sharing experiences. I have had no pleasant experience of sharing my accommodation. Like, it's always been horrible. And at this point, as I sit here today on the 26th of January 2020, I can tell you that not ever again am I going to share with anyone. If I have to pay extra money to stay alone and have my peace of mind, that is exactly what I'm going to do. So first year I get to UJ in 2015. I get there like late because, well, I applied during the course of my matric year, but they didn't respond to me. So right about this time in 2015, my parents were going through the most. We're just like so stressed. We didn't know where I was gonna go to school because literally no university responded. Like, it was so stressful. I remember this one time, my mom and I drove to the mall, like just next to a house. We drove to a local mall, and when we got there, we found my dad parked there at the mall, so stressed, having a piece of paper of numbers of people to call from universities and trying to make sure that I find space. And it was a very stressful time. It broke my heart to find him like that. And my dad fights, guys, especially when it comes to education. He really like just wants to make sure that we get the best, and he fights, and he had to fight. And especially that even though I'm late and I don't have school, I don't have Yo, guys, I don't know if you can hear the noise outside. You probably can because it's going to rain. Maybe I should close the window. Okay, let me close the window. And we will continue in a bit. Yeah, so I literally just came from church. Anyway, so my dad was very stressed, and he tried all he could. He made sure that even though I was late and this and this and that, he still wanted me to be satisfied. He wanted me to study what I wanted. And we drove to Joburg. We went there. He fought. Like, the good thing though was that he was able, I don't know how, but he managed to get contacts of people, because if you don't have connections, nothing works in South Africa. So he managed to get numbers of people at the university, so that when we got to UJ, he knew exactly where to go. And we got help. I remember first time, there's a lady that helped us at the Department of Environmental Health, and I was registered there. I was an environmental health student, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't even understand what that was. At first, but I later discovered that it's actually a great cause. But I wanted to do town planning. My dad still went, even though I did find space in environmental health and we were just drained and everything. He still made sure that I find something. And his thing was that, even if you eventually don't get to do town planning, but for as long as you are registered, as long as you're in, that's all that matters. Then you'll be able to change your courses internally. So we did that, and I don't know how, but he managed to talk to the head of department of town planning, and I was accepted, and I was a town planning student, and I was happy, and everyone was happy. So because I was there late, I was not like other first years because there are certain races for first years. I think it's first year, second year, and then from third year you move to other races which are for seniors. So I didn't have space at race because I came late and the races were already full. So I had to stay with seniors. I was like the baby of the race, so I had to stay with seniors. And and it was a very small race, so pretty much everyone knew that this is the youngest person in race. So I stayed with a certain lady whose name I'm not going to reveal for the purpose of respecting other people's identities. Okay, it was a horror staying with her. That entire year was just, and she was a nice person. When we got together, we introduced ourselves, and it was actually great. It was kind of a relief that she was from Limpopo, she was from Mokopane, I was from Polokwane, and it was like, oh, we're not so far from each other. Okay, so first few days we were okay, but I guess as time goes, everyone just is fully who they are, and we just couldn't tolerate each other. And that the weird thing is that the both of us are quiet, the both of us don't like parties or having company over, but we still didn't get along. I don't know, but I want to take responsibility for this, that in as much as it was my fault, it was also her fault. I don't know, maybe we're both still immature. I know I was still a child. My mentality back then was definitely not my mentality now, and I think maybe that's why we didn't get along. So the entire year it was horrible. Good thing we were not sharing our stuff. She had her own food, I had mine, I had my food, she had hers. We didn't have to share anything except for the room that we lived in, which was a mess. Sometimes now I want to study, I want to switch on the light, she's complaining. She wants to study, I can't switch on the light. Little silly things that made us fight. And it was horrible, the fact that you're living with someone, but sometimes you're not even talking to each other. This person just comes in, doesn't greet. You're just together for so many hours in this place, but you guys are not talking to each other. That was horrible. Second story, I was in third year, and they moved me to another race. When I got there, I was sharing with someone with a personality that's very different from mine, someone that likes to go to parties, someone that likes having people over, someone that likes having her boyfriend over. And me like, yeah, I don't know people, I don't like going anywhere, I'm always at rest, I'm always on my bed, and this person is coming with a boyfriend, I don't know, probably with the hope that maybe I'll excuse them and give them some privacy. But even if I wanted to, where was I gonna go? Because I literally am nobody's friend, you know. And even though I did have people that I knew, but I really just preferred being in my own private space, and that for me was rest in my bed. And it was just a mess. And at one time also, she was a nice girl, and we got along also. Like first few days, she was trying to make me comfortable, you know, don't feel like you're younger than me, we can do this together, we can do that together. She would buy food and we would share. And yeah, and I just hated how she tried to sort of like impose her beliefs on me, or the things that she does. I remember one time she came in, she was trying to hook me up with her friends, she was trying to get me into the lifestyle that they were living, and I'm not that person. One time she came back to us and she had like a box of chocolates, and she's like, hey, these are from a guy friend of mine who likes you. First of all, how does this person like me? Because he doesn't know me, he hasn't seen me, not even once. I didn't understand that. So it showed me that she went out of her way to tell this guy about me and say, hey, look, I have a roommate, she's like this, she's like this, she's like, I think you guys can be a great couple, you could be a good match. And that wasn't fascinating for me. I remember I didn't even accept the chocolates, and she was so shocked, like literally she was so surprised that how can a girl say no to chocolates from a guy. This obviously shows that this guy is sweet. She was even telling me, yo, this guy would look after you, he has money, he could do things for us. I'm like, you know what, I am not interested. I'm sure she kept like those chocolates for weeks, thinking that maybe I'd change my mind, but she probably had to eat them somewhere where I wasn't seeing her, because I didn't want them. And that's the thing. So it's confusing having to be in the same space with someone who is extremely different from you, and more than that, they're trying to get you to do things that you're uncomfortable with. Second story, which is a very recent one. So I got to Bloemfontein last year, started work. When I found out that I'll be working here, I started looking for accommodation. All the places here are horrible. Like, they look so old and so not neat and so not aesthetically pleasing. So I'm very big on interior, on my surroundings. I find that I'm very productive and happy in spaces that I enjoy. So I was kind of depressed because there was like nothing that I liked on the internet. And also the nice places are like expensive, and they're also very far from town, and I work in town. I don't have a car, I don't drive, so obviously the most sensible thing to do would be to stay next to work so that I can just like walk for a few minutes to work. That just avoids a lot of things. But yeah, so I struggled to find a place that I liked on the internet. We got here with my parents. They drove me all the way from Polokwane. They drove me to Bloom. We started looking for my dad again. I don't know how, but he managed to get contacts of people he knows in Bloom, who managed to give him contacts of people who could potentially help us with accommodation. And then we ended up at some woman's place. And when we got there, the woman runs like a little lodge, and she has like cottages. Do you know, like those wooden houses, those small ones? It's like a bachelor inside, but you can't, it's self-catering. There's no stove, there's no there was only a microwave and a bar fridge and a kettle, and it was very small, so it wasn't suitable for someone that's going to stay there for a long term. It makes sense for if you're just visiting and it's a lodge and you'll be there for 2 days and then you're gone. It didn't make sense for me, but I had to settle for that while I was looking for a place. So I had to stay there. I think I stayed there I got here in May, so I stayed there in May, June, July. And then she also had like 2 other rooms outside, which were bigger and like actual buildings, not the wooden ones. They were bachelor pads as well. So there was a lady that stayed in one of them and a guy that stayed in one of them. So the guy, his job I think his contract expired and he had to leave Bloom, so he moved out. So I went to move into his place. I still wasn't happy. It wasn't appealing to me. Oh my goodness, do you know how amazing it is to sneeze? It feels so good. So anyway, so the guy had to leave and I moved in into where he was staying. I still didn't like it. No, it was too small. It was bigger than the one that I was staying at, but it was still small. Like the cupboards were too small for my things to fit. If I'm going to be here for a whole 2 years, I need to live comfortably. I don't want to live like I'm on the way. Like do you understand? Like I need to be comfortable. I need to actually feel like I'm at home. When I'm at work and it's almost time to knock off, I need to be excited that I'm going home, that I'm going to my space that I so dearly love, I don't want to just like, oh no, I'm just here and I'll be gone in the next 2 years. No, I don't want to live that life. So I didn't like that place either. So I found another place and then I moved out in September. I found a 2-bedroom apartment, which still looked old and not aesthetically pleasing to me, but it was bigger than the 2 places that I'd lived at. It was also convenient in terms of space because there was a lot of storage and everything. And obviously a 2-bedroom I would have to share with someone because I was not willing to pay the full rent alone. So when I found about that place, I think I found it on Gumtree, and I contacted the girl. I went to view the place. Then I moved in. She was kind enough to say, you know what, for now you're the only person, so you can just like occupy one room and pay half the rent until we find someone else. As you guys know, I was like traveling between Joburg and Bloemfontein for school. So 1 week I went to Joburg for school, came back, and I come back like very late at night, like in the AM. So when I came back, it seemed like there was someone because I found someone's key in the kitchen on the counter, and it was late at night. So I just like, okay, probably it's the new person. Then I went to sleep, and in the morning I wake up for work. I knock on the door. Such a cute, innocent little girl who's in my mind. I'm like, oh, this is a first-year child. I'm even thinking this is a ministry that God has given me. If there's anything God has called me for in Bloemfontein, it's this little girl. I have to look after her. I have to make sure that she does well at school. I have to make sure that she lacks nothing. I have to make sure that she's happy. I have to make sure that she's confident. I have to make sure that she's self-aware. And I just like look at her and think of her as my little project that God has for me in Bloemfontein. And then I go to work, I come back, I try to sit down with her. She is very shy. She never like wants to avail herself to actually sit with me in the same space, because I was willing to talk to her, to find out things about her, where she's from, where she's studying, what she's studying. But she I don't know, she was just like avoiding me, and I just knew that okay, something is kind of shady. Why is she like this, but eventually I had to come to terms with it, and that was the situation. So this girl studies at the University of Free State. She was actually not even a first year. Yeah, I think she was a second year last year. So so she was studying, I was working. So she didn't have like a lot of stuff. She didn't have a fridge, for example, a microwave, a kettle. She didn't have a lot of stuff. In fact, the first few days that she came, she was sleeping on the carpet in her bedroom because she didn't have a bed. So I'm like, you know what, don't worry about anything. Let's share my fridge. Let's share my microwave. You can watch my TV, whatever you want. Like it just doesn't make sense to be in the same house and there's like 2 fridges in the kitchen. There's 2 microwaves that even takes up a lot of unnecessary space. So I'm like, you know what, don't worry about anything. We can just share my stuff. And first few days, it's okay. It's good. We're okay. And the child put me through the most. Like to this day, when I think of all the drama that I went through with that girl, I'm like, I'm not going to share ever again. Do you understand? Like ever again. this video is already on 19 minutes and I was really hoping like I could keep it short, but I clearly can't, because honestly guys, once I start talking I don't stop, and that's my thing, and I really want to keep my videos short, but okay, I am failing. So weird things started happening. Okay, so this child was very untidy. She would, you know, when you use the microwave, oh my god, you know when you use the microwave and there's like, you spill something and it's messy, you obviously have to clean. She doesn't, and it was like a mess. So I come back this one time, yeah, I came back from Joburg and I found that mess. I speak to her nicely, but how do you make such a mess? You obviously have to clean. I mean, I understand that she looked young and everything, but she was still old enough to know basic principles and, you know, stuff of living with other people especially. And she, you know, we spoke about that, it was okay. You know, there was like a little things that she would do, like not wash the dishes, and now there's like ends all over, it's just a mess, blah blah blah. So I talked to her about those things, and you know, when you talk to her, the most sweetest girl, the most respectful girl, was very understanding, but the behavior doesn't change. And I was just like, wow. So this one time, yo, there's like so many things that happened with her, I'm not even sure where to start. So I'll just like try to take you through a series of events. There was one time when she came with her friends. I came back from work and there's like so much noise in the house, I don't understand. She calls me, I think she's with her friends in her bedroom. She's with her friends in her bedroom. They're drinking, they're smoking happily. She calls me to meet her friends. I think because also Nami, I look like I'm 16 or something. She thought like maybe I would be their friend and I could chill with them. She thought like that maybe I would find that fascinating. I would find, her friends were like, yo, you should join us sometimes, blah 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 blah. I'm like, joy in my heart knowing that nah, it's never going to happen. So that day they're chilling, they smoking the habli. The habli is on the carpet in the bedroom. They smoke. I don't know what happened. The habli falls down. The coal bends the carpet. The carpet is damaged, and we were given very strict rules when we moved in. They told us, you know what, you damaged something, you're gonna fix it. You need to be very careful of how you treat this place. Exactly how you find it is exactly how you must leave it. So I see that, but I ignore it. I don't tell her anything about it. Go to the kitchen. Obviously I'm tired, I'm from work. I open my fridge, try to find something. There's alcohol in my fridge, and jiggy. I go to the kitchen, my water dispenser thing is on the floor. How it was removed from the fridge, I do not understand. I don't know if they're using it to pull the fridge into, like, I just don't understand how they open the fridge to an extent that that thing is on the floor. And what I don't even understand is that surely it made some noise when it fell on the ground. Why do you not pick it up? Even if you can't put it back, but like, just have the decency to pick it up. They don't do that. I find that on the floor. I keep quiet. I just chill. Her friends leave. Later, it's the two of us. So I tell her about these things. Did you see what you did to the carpet? Did they tell you about the rules? So I'm like, okay, at least you know about the rules. So this is what's going to happen. You'll need to pay for that carpet when you move out. I ask her, what happened to my dispenser? Blah blah blah. I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry. It's okay. Like, at this point I'm getting very mad because there's a lot of things that are happening, and every time I try to talk to her, she seems very understanding, but she doesn't change. Do you get my point? And I don't have a problem with people making mistakes, but if we can talk about it and we agree that this is how we're going to solve things, but if you don't change, then you're making me mad now, you know. And so second incident, I'm giving you in no particular order because I obviously can't remember. Oh, first thing first, when I came back from Joburg, to find her for the first time in the flat, Like, I came back on Sunday in the AM. So Monday morning, I wake up, I go to work. I come back from work in the evening and I'm watching TV. Someone knocks on my door. I open the door. It's the caretaker. The caretaker's like, you have a roommate now, ne? I'm like, yes, I do. What's her name? Her name is, I won't mention her name. I tell the caretaker what her name is. He's like, how this one? I'm like, how about she's literally been here for 2 days. That was before all these other things happened, so I didn't understand like what she did, and because she looked also so innocent to me. And then apparently she was with a guy, and because when you get to the complex for the first time, you obviously have to get access, do that whole fingerprint stuff, and she hadn't done that yet. There's a big gate obviously for cars, and there's a pedestrian one. So the pedestrian one requires a fingerprint, which she didn't have. So I think she was kind of frustrated. She didn't know how to get access. So apparently she was with a guy, and I don't know who opened the gate. I think maybe after a car went out or came in, they took a big stone, put it in front, like there on the, what do you call thing, on the rail where the gate moves, so that the gate will not be able to close, so that she can be able to go in and out as she pleases. So she puts that big stone there and the gate can't move. So the caretaker pretty much came to address that, and the caretaker has a camera in his place, and he's able to see everything that happens. So they were able to identify her. They saw where she was going, where she was coming from. So the caretaker came to address that with her. They called her, and he spoke to him and also told her the rules again. And this one time I was also not here. The caretaker called me when I was in Joburg. He's like, are you around? I'm like, no. She's like, no, your roommate is making so much noise with her friends. They are drinking, and that is a very quiet complex with old people. I think maybe I think her and her friends were so excited that, you know what, we have a place where we can have our freedom, because I suppose they stay at res or at student accommodations where there's like very strict rules. So I think she was excited to say, yo, we're gonna live off campus and it's not a student accommodation. We can literally do whatever we want. I think they were just like excited. And yeah, so the caretaker called me, told me that this is what's happening, there's so much noise, please call her and tell them to behave. I do that, and that child does not deny anything. Hey, she literally, like, if she does something, she'll literally just say yes, okay, yes, I'll talk to them, we will behave, you know. And I'm like, wow. So another incident, it was the Makufe, the popular Makufe event that happens in Bloemfontein. So it was that weekend, and I think it started on the Thursday. I was leaving on the Saturday to Joburg. So on the Friday there was the hip hop event, and her friends came over. They got ready at our place, and then they went to Makufe. They came back in the AMs, I think around 4 a.m. They were making so much noise, and I was sleeping. And I wake up in the morning. I remember I had to go fetch my laundry from the laundromat so I can pack and leave. I wake up, same thing happened. The water dispenser thing of the fridge is on the floor, and at this point I'm just like really frustrated. How does a person open a fridge? Like, I don't understand. How does this thing always come out? How does it come out? I genuinely don't understand what's so difficult about just opening the fridge normally in a proper way. I don't get it, and I find it on the floor again. At this point I am so mad that I'm not going to wait for her friends to leave. So I call her, and I call her out of her room. She comes, and I start telling her what's going on. Still, she doesn't know what happened, so she calls her friends. The one friend comes, she apologizes. We don't know what happened. I'm like, you know what, I don't care, I don't want to hear anything. Pick this thing up, put it back how you found it, and after that, take everything that belongs to you out of my fridge. At this point, I'm so mad. I don't want to share anything with her. I just want to have, I was mad. And yeah, so there was another incident that happened. Please remember that I'm giving all of these incidents in no particular order. And the one time before things got very ugly between us, there was a time when she asked me, she came nicely, she was like, oh, so how are we gonna do like our groceries and stuff? Do you want us to share? I'm like, you know what, we can share, because obviously that was before she was giving me like a lot of problems, because obviously if we're sharing and we're splitting costs, we can be able to get a lot of stuff. So we agree that okay, we will pop out 1,000 each every month and we buy our groceries. And it happened only once. We went and we bought groceries. It was great. We bought so many things and it was amazing. Do you know those slices of cheese in that long packet? It's like one portion and then another in. You do not know you do not want to know what happened. I come back from work, I find almost that first portion like same day, that like, do you understand, the immediate next day after we bought the groceries, that first, there's like 2 in one long packet, almost that first one, the slices of cheese are gone. And it's a very petty thing to complain about food, but I'm just like, and the thing with me is that I don't have friends. I'll never bring anyone to the house, and it's okay that you have your friends, but you must also be very considerate of me. You don't stay alone. This food you didn't buy alone. We share things, so you need to think for the other person. I think that's her biggest thing. She's not considerate. She's very selfish. When she does things, she forgets that there's another person to consider. And I was so shocked. Like, I was so shocked. I remember I called my friend and I had to tell her about it. Like, what just happened? There was, and also the worst part was that we're buying stuff together, fine. I'm going to be traveling at some point for an entire week. Imagine if she can eat so many I don't know how to call this. She can eat so many cheese slices at once in less than a day. How much more can she do in a whole week when she's alone and I'm not even there? So I was like, I'm going to have serious problems here. And clearly she had she came, I don't know, invited her friends, told them, you know what, there is food in this house, come hungry, empty your stomachs, come with space in your stomachs. There is enough food for all of us. Come and eat, my friends. Just come. That's what I assume she did, because there was no way. And the child put me through the most. One of the times when I came back from Joburg also, I've got 2 similar lunch boxes that I use when I go to work, like if I'm packing my lunch. The one time I think before I went to Joburg, I left one at work, and then there was one that was in the flat, so I wanted to take that one to work. I search in the morning, packing my lunch, it's not there. So I use one of hers without telling her, because it's obviously in the morning and I just want to do my stuff and rush and go to work. I don't tell her. Come back from work, I ask her, where is my lunchbox? Oh, neki pehile. Oh, you have so many containers, but you thought it would be wise to take mine to your family collection while you leave yours. How does this thing work? I'm like, but no, you can't do that. We live alone, but your things are still your things. My things are still. guys, there's so many things that I actually left out. Guys, you don't want to stay with other people. It's a mess, like a big mess. Yo, I can't believe this. Like, I didn't understand how she chose to leave her stuff and take mine to her cousins somewhere. I don't understand. Like, we can stay together, we can share things, yes, but my things remain mine. Because if we're doing that, then you mean you can simply just take my clothes and wear them, because you can simply just take my shoes and take them to your friends because they need them for an event. Do you get my point? And the biggest problem was that my bedroom didn't have a key. Hers did have a key, but she never locked her door. But at first, I didn't think it would be a problem, because I thought, we know boundaries, we're gonna respect each other. She will not come into my room. And in fact, the first day that I found her with her friends, the day they were smoking happily, I ended up in her room because I was looking for my charger in the room and it wasn't there. So I went to her, have you seen my charger? And then they start giving me, in fact, one of her friends gave me the charger. So now I'm not sure if she went into my room to take my charger, or she actually asked someone, one of her friends, to go, hey, I can a charger. Some shabakamo, bilabo shabakamo. I was not sure whether or not she told people to go and invade my space and take my charger. So she gives me my charger. I don't even complain about it. It's cool. One of these times that I came back from Joburg, I don't know which time, I also go to my room. I want to charge my phone. My twin plug is not there. And then I go to her room, I knock. Have you seen my twin plug? Yo, boni. But how does this work? It's just the two of us in this house that stay here. If I leave my thing in a certain position, if I don't find it in the position that I left it in, chances are you tampered with it. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. Regularly too, there's no ghost that's gonna come into my room and take my twin plug. So she pretends, no, I haven't seen it, I don't know where it is. And Nami, I'm just like frustrated looking at her. But immediately as I was about to exit her room, it's right on her bed, staring at me like, hey, I'm here. And I'm like, why are you lying about it? Because it's here. It's like, no, but it's on your bed. How do you not know? You know? And yo, guys, like, I was tested in that place. Like, so I moved in there in September, October, November, end of November, I was leaving. End of November, I left and I came to my new place here. The last incident that happened, I was going to Cape Town. This video is so long. We were going to Cape Town on a work trip, and I was packing my things. I was packing my bags, preparing for Cape Town. There's this other jersey of mine that I'm looking for that I haven't worn in a very long time. And if it's not in my cupboard, it's either at home, which I know it's definitely not at home, or in Joburg, because I go to Joburg all the time. So I call my sister. But I also know in my mind that I've never went with the jersey to Joburg. So I ask her, have you seen my jersey, my blue jersey? I described it to her. She's like, no, it's not here. The only thing that makes sense, she was in her room, ne? So I don't want to accuse her of things. So I wait for her, because I know she goes out all the time. She actually still, why am I? So I knew she was good. It's only a matter of hours or minutes until she goes out. So she goes out. I go to her room. I obviously invade her privacy, because that was the only choice that I had. And then I open her cupboard. It's the first thing I saw when I opened I didn't have to look very far. It's right in her cupboard. And there's my jersey. And I am sure the Christian in me didn't. Yeah, so the Christian in me just didn't care anymore. Like, I was exhausted. Like, I just wanted nothing to do with her. Like, I just didn't want her anymore. So I go to Cape Town because when I left, she was not there, and I didn't want to confront her about it over the phone. I wanted to look her straight in the eyes. So I go to Cape Town, and the whole week in Cape Town, I just had to like keep my mouth shut and not ask her anything about it. So I come back from Cape Town, and I take the jersey in my room, and then I go to her. I even hide it in my room. Like after getting it, I hid it so that if she realizes that it's not there in her room, she doesn't easily find it. Maybe she will, I don't know, make it disappear or something. So when I come back from Cape Town, I take it and then I go to her room. I knock on the door. She opens the door for me, and then I'm like, "Ke mang ntwe?" It's like, "Ke gago." First of all, how do you know that it's mine? Because I've legit never, like ever, like since we started staying together, azange kayapara, not even once. How did you know then that it's mine? And I think she was just scared because obviously she can't say it's hers because it's not hers. So I don't know, Nami, this question of how did you know that it's mine because you've never seen me wearing it only came later after I spoke to her. So I asked her, what was it doing in your room then if it's mine? She's like, I don't know how it ended up there, but I stay with you. Like, why would I take my own jersey and plant it in your room? Like, that doesn't make sense. I stay with you. How did it get into your room? It's your room. And at this point, I tell her, at this point, you have very bad reputation because you've proven yourself to me that you actually go through my stuff when I'm not there. And that's the thing. The thing is that to show that there are very strange things that she does, she avoids me all the time. She will never sit with me and watch TV with me. But when I'm sleeping at very odd hours of the night, around 3 a.m., she's sitting on my couch watching my TV, something that she'll never do when I'm there. Like, she'll never come and sit next to me and watch TV with me because she knows that she does very strange things behind my back. And even when it's the two of us, she will never ask me for anything. She will never ask me to go maybe into my room and to get a charger or anything like that. She literally avoids me, and it started making sense. Wuti, why does she not want me in her presence? Because obviously if you know that there are things you do, then by all means you make sure that you avoid that person. So it started making sense for me then. So then when I came back from Cape Town, I had to go back to Joburg to write my exams. And before I left, she was telling me that she's gonna leave soon. She's gonna go home because she's done with exams. Okay, so when we moved in, there was a girl that was staying in the apartment with her fiance and their child. So it was her lease, which had not expired yet. She saw another place that she liked before her lease expired, and she decided to move out. It is raining now, I told you. So she decided to move out before her lease expired. So essentially, we were paying rent to her, and then she was paying rent to the rental company. Ne? So to the property company, whatever. So when I went to Joburg to write my exams, I remember that the child is going to leave very soon, and she damaged the carpet. And when we leave at the end of the year, it's the end of the lease, which means when she moves out, she takes all her stuff, and she will probably not come back in January. So I remember that, I need to tell Dumi. Dumi is the name of the lady who was staying there before us, who basically rented us the place. And I'm like, I need to tell her to go and check the place, how it looks. Also remembering the carpet issue, that she bent the carpet. So I told him, I'm like, actually that girl bent the carpet, and I heard she's going to go home soon because she's done with exams. So you must go and check before she leaves so you can sort out the issue, because if she leaves, maybe you might not find her again. So I tell her, Dumi goes there, she checks the carpet, she goes to the flat when I'm in Joburg, she confronts her, and then I don't know how they end their issue. Me, come back from Joburg, come back from writing my exams, get into my room. Something is very weird on the carpet in my room. Like it looks damaged. It looks damaged. And at this point, because I'm a very paranoid person, I'm thinking, what if there was a rat in my room? And I'm like, that night I was very scared. I remember I was telling my boyfriend, yo, I am so scared. I just want to wake up and go to work, because I was thinking there was a rat, because it's the only thing that made sense, because I left this carpet in good condition and all of a sudden it's damaged. So I was like, okay, what's going on? And then the next day after work, I gathered the strength to actually go closer to the damaged part of the carpet. It looks like it was ripped with a scissor that I left on my bed. There was a scissor that I left on my bed. I looked there. It looked like it was damaged very strategically. It was damaged intentionally. It was someone who actually decided that, you know what, I'm going to rip this carpet apart. And there it was. So I asked her, what happened to the carpet in my room? I don't know. How do you not know? I stay with you in the same room. Did you cut it with a scissor? She denies and denies and denies. So I call the lady. I take the picture of the carpet and I send it to Dumi. I'm like, so this girl decided she's going to damage the carpet. The carpet was okay, because when Dumi went to the flat when I was in Joburg, she checked in both our rooms. The carpet was okay. But all of a sudden, after she confronted my roommate, now the carpet is damaged. And the only thing that makes sense is that she also damaged the carpet in my room, so that she's not the only one that has to pay for the carpet in her room. I also have to pay. And unfortunately, okay, so when I came back, Demi came to the house, we confronted her. She was so angry. Her and her fiance were like so angry, and we went to, so she was so mad. She's like, you know what, today you are moving out of here. They packed, they put her in the car. They're like, you know, who do you know around? We're gonna drop you off at a safe place, because we don't want to just put you anywhere, but Gamo, you're not gonna sleep in here. So they put in the car. We go to the location. She says there's a friend of her, a cousin of hers there. I suppose that's the girl that she took my lunchbox to, but that's okay because it's still not bag. So we went. When we get there, mind you, these people are driving with their car. They're taking their time to drive her, to take her there. When we get there, she's like, yeah, I know the place, it's fine, you can take me there. When we get there, suddenly she's lost. She doesn't know where the place is. She tells them, go this direction, go this direction. When they get there, she's lost. And they were so mad. Like, they were so mad. And they decide, you know what, you are wasting our time. So we go to the police station in the township. And when you get to the police station, me explains the story to the police. They're like, no, but it didn't happen here, so you need to go to the police station in town. And so we go to the police station in town. They can't help us because, first of all, you don't have proof. They say possibly yes, as though she's the one that damaged the carpet, but if she's not owning up to it, you can't just pin it on her because there's no proof. You didn't see her do it, so you have no case. We can't open a case. You can't open a case against her. So Dumi was so mad. So she was so angry. She just, like, we left her at the police station. She's like, you know what, I'm leaving you here at the police station. You are safe. I don't care where you go, but I'm leaving you here. So we left her at the police station, and they took me back to the flat, and she left. The next day, I think I was moving out the next day, and no, there was like a few days in between where she came with, my roommate came with, I don't know if it's a boyfriend or what, but she came with a guy. This video is long and I'm so mad. So she came with a guy, and I log all the time. Like, literally, when I come back from work or from the shop or even from the bin outside, I come back, I just knock the door. I mean, lock the door. I don't know, it's a thing. I'm used to doing that. So she comes, there's a knock on the door. I open. They try to talk to me. Please open for us. That's her name. I said her name, but yeah, she has a right to stay in here. She paid her rent. why are you not letting her in, blah blah blah, please open so she can get her things. I'm like, you know what, they told me to not open for her and I will not open. And they were so arrogant, they were so rude to me, and these were people who were coming to ask for help from me, but they were so disrespectful. And I'm like, you know what, nah, I'm not doing this. So I shut the door while they were outside, and I locked, and they left. And so when I was moving out, Dumi came, she packed all my roommate stuff, she hired a truck to come and take all her things. She was also like not in the right space, because the things she was doing now didn't make sense. Like, how do you take someone's stuff? So she hired a truck, she put all her stuff in there, she took them to the location. She said she had a friend in the township who has been looking for a job, and the friend is not finding a job. So she's like, you know what, take all these things. She said she's gonna take all the things and to ask her friend to just like pick whatever she wants from my roommate's stuff. She took her bed, she went to sell the bed at a pawn shop. And yeah, so literally that's the drama that happened. That's the drama that girl puts us through. Apparently Dumi told me that my roommate went to open a case against her at the police station of theft, because obviously it's theft if you're going to take someone's stuff and just like distribute them to other people like that. It is theft. So that's what happened. And so I don't know where the story ended. I remember one time her mom called me and she was trying to get the address of Dumi from me, and the mom was also very rude. I'm like, hey, I am not obliged to help you in any way. In if anything, your child has put me through a lot of stress, and if you're also going to call me and ask for help from me, but you are being so rude to me, you're not helping the situation. And this child is such a liar, you guys. Like, she's a liar, because she told her mom that Noko locks her room every time when she goes to work. She locks her room. She knows very well that I don't have a key. So clearly these are signs of someone who's just trying to get rid of the evidence. This is someone who's just trying to lie. And unfortunately, because the parents have a soft spot for her, they do believe her. You know, she told her mom, this person locks her room all the time. How can I go into a room and still? And I think like her mom just has the same character as hers, because she was just defending her child, not caring about what actually happened, what the truth is. So guys, if you're going to share, be very mindful of these things. Not everyone is like you. We obviously wish that everyone is a good person, but sadly this is not the case. People have different missions, people have different vendettas against you, and it's weird, because some of these people you don't even know, but they just do the most hurtful things to you. You're trying to be a nice person and accommodate someone, but you are just tested. So if you're going to share, you really need to consider these things. And some people don't necessarily believe in the same things that you believe in. This child was someone who went to church like almost every Sunday, but there was just weird things in her room. There was like purple powder that was all over her room, like all over the walls next to her bed when they were packing stuff, and it was like in a little plastic. So you see that it's something that she was doing. Obviously we don't know for what reasons, but I'm just saying that people do different things, way different things from you, and it doesn't mean that when you are this good person who does this, who prays, who does this, who loves other people, who considers other people, that everyone around you is necessarily going to be that kind of a person. So now I pay 1,000 more than what I was paying where I was staying, but it is so worth it, because I enjoy peace of mind. I am so peaceful, I am so happy. I don't have to worry about those things anymore. So yes, it helps a lot to share with someone, because then you get to save costs, you save a lot of money, but paying less at the expense of your peace of mind, at the expense of your happiness, is totally not worth it, guys. So you need to consider these things before you're going to move in with someone, especially someone who's a total stranger that you don't know. It's a different case if you're going to move in, maybe share an apartment with someone that you know, someone that maybe you're related with, or is a friend, or someone that you've lived with. in the past. It's a completely different story, but coming to someone different, someone of a different culture, a different background, different mindset. It's a total mess. And I really was, because I'm new in Bloemfontein and I don't know people, so by one of the reasons why I wanted to share a 2 bedroom was so that because it didn't make sense that I'm here and then I'm gonna leave and I don't know anyone except for the people at work. So I'm like, let me just share with someone. Maybe I'll just have like a sister nyana that I would have made in Bloom. But oh well, like she just proved why I'm better off alone. So a sister, no thanks. Get right, okay? I'm good. I am good. And yeah, so I just wanted to make you aware of those things. Be very cognizant. Do your research. Like think about a lot of things before you actually decide that you're going to share your space with someone. And most of the time it's very stressful, because when you sign an agreement or a lease or whatever for on a contract basis, and it's usually a year. So imagine if you're stuck with the same person for an entire year and it's just a mess. Your life is being threatened. Because I was getting very scared. I was starting to get very, very scared, because this she was evil to me. And I was like, but my footage is there. How do I know that she's not going to poison me? How do I not know? How do I know? Because my room, I don't even have a key. How do I know that she's not gonna come in while I'm sleeping and maybe hurt me or kill me? Because she seemed like she had demonic forces yo guys. So please do not take this for granted. If you can afford to pay a lot of money where your peace is secure, then by all means please do that. And yeah, this video is extremely long. I really didn't think it would be this long, but it is what it is. And thank you so much guys for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something from this video. I hope that this video helps you make informed decisions about obviously such decisions, whether you're gonna be sharing your spaces with other people or not. And wow, this will easily be 50 minutes. Oh no. So yeah guys, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like my video, and don't forget to comment down below, and don't forget to suggest to me the things that you'd like to see on my channel. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and be part of the family. Goodbye, see you in my next video. Love you, bye.